So that's out of the way. Let's go into today's training. So the first thing is about the company. What are we doing? What is this company all about? So KWC Global Institute is dedicated to coaching on leadership and empowerment. So the focus is coaching on leadership and empowering you to achieve profitability. And we have a short word for that. We call it LEAP. So profitability in life is more like saying you have a leap in life, leap in your family life, leap in career, leap in business, leap in your relationship, leap in your finances, and also leap spiritually. So that's what the company is set up to achieve. And the first training that we are bringing to you is building wealth for generations. Building wealth for generations. And what we've done with the website, as you can see, is ibwfg.com. It's more like a confession. It's I build wealth for generation.com. So that's the full meaning of that URL. Somebody is wondering, it's you personal. Each time you go to that website, you say I build wealth for generation.com. So that's the acronym that you have there. So and that's what we're here to do. So the first flagship training, which is what I have now on the screen, is building wealth for generation. We are empowering a future of financial abundance for generations to come. And we are starting with you. So what we are saying is that you can be the one to start in case you've not had the opportunity. You can be the one to start. We focus on personal finance, focusing on investment for individuals and for families, and to pave the way for the next generation to have a pedestal, to have a platform to stand on as they start their life. And what's the goals here? To equip the next generation in every way we can, and by passing on substantial wealth and education to be able to sustain it. Because there's an adage that says, when you build a house, a child that you don't build will sell a house that you built. So it's also good that education, not just passing on substantial wealth, but you're also passing on education to be able to sustain what you passed on as wealth. And it's not just for us to have a comfortable retirement, and not just for us to pay the expenses for our children, but to be able to do much more, to give to charity, to be able to have the kind of fulfillment that God expects us to have as individuals. And here is the course content. I won't bore you with that. I will just move on as we have a lot of slides to go through today. So about myself, I'm a transformation and change consultant. I have over 20 years of enterprise experience with the central government in the UK and the private sector. And I work as an IT consultant with focus on change and on business transformation, digital transformation. And I hold a certificate in digital transformation. I also have an MSc in business strategy, leadership, and change. I've got a few certifications there, but most importantly is that I'm a Christian, and I want everyone else to be a blessing. I want to be a blessing to as many people as possible in everything that I do. What are our motivation? Before now, I thought to be able to own shares in company, it's not for people who have 9 to 5 jobs, especially in developed countries. But through education, I got to know that with as little as £100, I could start something. Little at £25, I could start something. When I started out, there was no fractional investing as we have today, that you can put £20 into an account and then you can buy fractional shares. So the minimum there was £100. Even now, you can now start with £10, with £20, and you'll be able to start investing, with as little as that. Okay, so I started with £100, and over the year, I've seen returns that are a lot more than what a savings account will be able to give me. There are days when the market is down, there are days when the market is up, but at the end of the day, the winning days are a lot more than the losing days. And so at the end of the day, you are a winner in your investment with your investment portfolio. And I really wish someone has told me this about 10 years or more ago. I started up in trading 2006. That was a long time ago. What I was doing then wasn't investing, I was trading. I kind of understood how to buy and sell, how to sell currency, buy and sell currency, trading shares, trading futures, trading precious metal, gold, and the rest of them. But I didn't own a portfolio. So that wasn't invested. So I will probably clarify a little bit more as we go on. So the training today is not about trading, it's about investment. It's about you being invested in companies across the continents of the world, from Australia to Asia to America, South America to United Kingdom, Europe, and the rest of it, and Africa. It's you being invested in as a shareholder in companies and generating returns and dividend for you, and not just trading the market. Okay, what is generational wealth? As the name suggests, there are things, assets you can pass on to generations after you, to grandchildren and beyond. As we know, even though maybe not all of us are Christians, but the Bible says that a good man will do what will pass inheritance to his children's children, and even beyond. And we can see example of families here over the years. Their family have enjoyed that generational wealth. The Walton family, they are one of the, at least 5 or 6 of them are still among the top billionaires in the world today. And someone started that, and that they are millionaires from Walmart. We can see L'Oreal from Paris. You can see that company, they make cosmetics. We can see Mars. We can see, coming to the UK here, you can see the Duke of Westminster. They own a lot of land across United Kingdom, especially in West London. They control a lot of land there, and they are billionaires. The youngest who just took over should be in his 20s from the family, and it's just one of the youngest billionaires in the UK. And then what they do is to open a family office to manage their wealth, and everybody, generations after generations, can always get financial advice. So they perpetuate wealth within their family from one generation to the other. Okay, and what are the reasons why people don't do this? And I'm sure you probably would identify with one of these reasons why people don't start, or they started and then they stop doing this. Is it that you don't earn enough? Some people believe what I earn is just barely enough for me to get by. Okay, some will say, I owe money, I'm just paying off my debt, I don't have time for investment or to do anything. Some will say the interest is too low. Some will say the interest is too high, as we have it now, right now, that we have inflation out there. Some will say, it could be that, I still have a lot of time. I'm still very young, in my 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s. And so, I will start later. We postpone it to later. Some people say, I don't understand how to go about it. I think a lot of us might fall into that category. Now, how do I go about this? I want somebody to show me how to start, somebody to hold me by hand. And that's what we are trying to do today. Why some think, I'm very busy with my 9 to 5 and I don't have time for anything else. And we'll also show you today that this could be very passive. You don't have to be involved in it on a daily or weekly basis. Some will say the stock market is rigged. So I don't know what your reason might be. You can give me other reasons in the chat. If you're able to chat, if you've been promoted to become a panelist, you'll be able to chat. You can put in maybe 1 or 2 reasons why you think people don't do this, or why you've not started this. So it could be a different reasons why people don't. Okay, and I might not be able to see the chat, but I will just move on to the next slide. So what is your own reason why you have not started? So let's see how we can move forward today into starting this journey of building wealth for generations to come. Okay, the next one is, again, some will say, are we doing this out of fear? Are you worried about tomorrow? It's not that anybody is worried about tomorrow. As I will show us in the next slide. If you look at the top bullet point, there says, God said, "You sluggard, go to the hands, learn their way, be wise." It has no commander, no overseer, no ruler, yet it stores its provision in summer. They have a storehouse and they gather their food in harvest. Why do they do that? They do that when the snow is here, winter is here, they can't go out. And so also there are seasons in the life of every man. Either we like it or not, there are seasons in the life of every man. The time will come when you are 70, you are 80, you are 90, you have the children, grandchildren that you will need something to fall back on. And this is a means to be able to prepare for a very good retirement. You don't want to know how much the state pension is in the UK. I think maybe it's around, maybe it's going to 14 now, but I don't know what you can do with £1,000 per month. Even though you may also have private pension, but that's also good for you to have this in parallel. I think I have a chart in there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll be promoting people to become panelists as they join us. So you can chat. If you want to chat, you can speak when if you want to ask a question, you can raise up your hand, and then I can enable you to be able to ask your question either using chat or using audio means. Okay, so why wealth for generation? It is the will of God that we all prosper. That's the first. The second thing is that we need to take responsibility, because God won't do for you what you can do for yourself. Some will say, what will be, will be. What will be might not be. There's a need for us to prepare for it. There is for us to take leadership and be the pace setter in our family. And I put something in red, a very interesting quote we saw online. It said, I am from a poor background, hence at 30. You see, after that, you had a background. So you can say, oh, I'm from a very poor family. I had a very poor background. You know, this and this. That excuse for life stopped when you became 30. And in fact, after leaving school, that is when that excuse is supposed to stop. You should now be the background for people who are coming behind, so that they won't be saying, okay, I came from a poor background. So you should now be the background. And from there, those who are come behind you can build from there. It's also you being good stewardship. It means you manage very well the resources that you have been given. Okay, it's also you respecting the law of seed time and harvest time. The whole world is sustained by seed and harvest. Every plant in the world has got in them a way for them to reproduce after their own kind. That's why they are not yet extinct. They keep reproducing after their own kind. Human beings reproduce after their own kind. Animals reproduce after their own kind. Okay, so also your finances can reproduce. God has put in your finances both bread and seed. Okay, if you make everything bread, you have no seed left. If there's no seed, then you have no harvest. And that should not be the case. And then it's for a comfortable retirement. And we can see the remaining one is to have pedestal for the next generation. And it's for you to be a blessing to humanity. And so what is your why? Why do you want to build wealth for generation? Is it for you to have a good holidays? Is it for you to go on a 3-week cruise when you retire? Or even for you to do it now in the next few years? Is it to pay for your children's college so that they are debt-free when they are out of college? Okay. What is your own why? So it's always good to have a why for everything that you do. Is it to sponsor what is passionate to you? Is it the gospel? Is it a charity? Whatever it is that is passionate for you or to you, is it for you to be able to sponsor that? Whatever your why is, it's always good to have one. So I'll move on to the next slide, and then we will start. Another thing here we have here, first generation billionaires who didn't inherit anything. And then they've been able to, through building of businesses, through different aspects of businesses, they've been able to build wealth over a single generation. It means you can do the same thing. And I have here ways through which people can become a millionaire. You can win a lottery. You can see that I cross that out because I don't play, and I don't know whether you play, but I don't play. I won't recommend you play because your chance is just too narrow. Again, and then we have you could inherit something. Somebody can look at you and give you a gift of $1 million or more. You could be an executive of a multinational. Yeah, you get stock option, dividend and stock option. You get paid fat salaries in millions. you can become one. You can start a business. You can see that the odds from the top is very, very slim. As you go down, the odds become to come in your favor. Okay, not very few people will become CEO of Apple or of Microsoft or of Tesla or of Twitter. Okay, there are very few that become of Cadbury or of Johnson and Johnson or of Barclays. Okay, but more people can probably start a business and be successful at it. But one thing that we can all do is become very good at what you do right now. Okay, that's what everybody that you have 24 hours, you can become good at whatever you've chosen as a career. And like I would say, every profession in life, every walks of life are made a millionaire of people. So whatever it is you've chosen to do, become a professional at it, become good at it. Okay, not everybody will be able to start a business. Not everybody have got the entrepreneurial spirit to be able to go and start and build a business. It's tough to do that, but you can become good at what you do and make your money work for you while you are still doing your 9 to 5. And that is why I think this is relevant to everybody who earns an income, no matter how little that income is. Okay, so I believe we can all achieve being good at what we do right now. So I'll quickly run through the seven pillars, and then we'll go into and the 5 phases, and then we go into some practical on opening your account. Because at the end of the day, you know, it will be my satisfaction will be you seeing me in 3, 4, 5 years time and say thank you for tonight, because you've shown me the path to be able to build wealth, and my account is so big right now, you know. And then so that is my reward. I would say it will bring me a lot of satisfaction. So 7 pillars to building wealth for generations. So you have them on the screen. We'll go through them one by one. I will run through them. Thank God I talk very fast. But if you think I'm moving too quickly, too fast, just let me know, and I will slow down a little bit. Okay. So what is the first thing? Is the mindset. Okay. Very, very important. Our mindset. Okay. If you go to any training that has to do with building wealth, or be it property training, be it, you know, the first thing is to talk about psychology of money. That you need to get it right here before it could get into your hand. You need to have a mindset of prosperity, of abundance, before you can attract it. You need to have it spiritually. For those who are of faith here, you need to have a spiritual mindset for you to be able to. And for those who are not, you need to have that psychology of money. You know, poverty is in the mind. Not having enough is in the mind. And once you get to that state of mind, no matter how much you have in your hand, it seems as if it's still not enough, because it's a mindset. If you something called learned helplessness, that over the years people have learned to think they can't help themselves, even when the help is next door to them. They've learned to be helpless. The help is there, but they can't take advantage of it because it is a mindset. So the first thing you want to deal with for you to build wealth for generations, to say, this is for me, I can do this. Be comfortable with abundance. Some people think it's unholy. It's not holy for you to have a lot of wealth. No, it is. If you look at examples all through the Bible, people have a wealth and they did wonderful things with it. Okay, it's your covenant blessing. Okay, it's you being able to live. You see yourself as a leader, that you want to take the leadership to leave wealth for the next generation. If somebody have not done that for you, you want to do that for people who are coming behind you, to be able to make it your mission to be able to leave wealth for generation. And then you also need divine direction, or what we call an hunch, to be able to do this successfully. Okay. Pillar number 2 is to have financial education. Okay. No matter what your profession is, we know that we went through school, nobody taught us about money. Okay. We went through, we did the biology and the physics and the calculus that we probably won't need, depending on what profession you choose at the end of the day. But we were taught anyway. Okay. And what was lacking was that financial education, that people came out of school and they don't even know what the impact of compound interest, of credit, or debit, or what it is to invest, and should be part of the curriculum. But so there's a need for us to be able to get financial education. And this is just the beginning. I know some people here have probably been to a few seminars before. You've been taught one or two things. Maybe you've not taken action on it. Maybe you've started. You are in your journey already. Okay, but there's a need for continuous learning and relearning. What worked a few years ago might not work again this year. So there's a need for you to continue to learn, because ignorance is very, very expensive. Okay, I've paid for ignorance. For me, not knowing that not knowing about the platform where I can invest and become an investor was ignorance. It was I was ignorant of it, and so I paid for it, and I was day trading, and I was day trading. I lost tens of thousands. I think about $25,000 I've lost day trading since 2026 till like 2012. 2012 and 2013, thereabout. And that was me paying for ignorance. And this course is there for you to be educated and not make those costly mistakes that somebody like me made. Okay, and it takes a trained eye to spot opportunities. If you see, if your eyes are not trained, when you see something, you just follow the crowd. You think, oh, it's Bitcoin today, you jump on it. Even when you get to the stock market, some big names are not something you should buy. I was telling somebody today that as good as IBM is, I don't have it in my portfolio. But you think, oh, IBM is a very big name, you jump on it. I'm not saying it's a bad company. A lot of a financial institution, they have them. And in fact, if you're in the city and you don't have IBM on your portfolio, if you make a mistake with IBM, you'll be forgiven. I'm making a mistake with a tire PLC, okay, you still be forgiven because they are established. What am I saying is that beyond, when you want to build a portfolio, a deeper understanding of the market and of true financial education will help you to be able to spot how do you get that? Through training, through mentorship, you leveraging on people's experience to be able to understand what's going on in the market. Okay, I will move on. A recommendation of books are there. I've read those ones, a lot of them. But these are the very first one, Richest Man in Babylon, is a story, even though it's fiction, but it was set in the Middle East, and then they used words. I see you are reading King James Bible. Very interesting story, very small, very not too big a book, but you will learn a lot of principle from that book. And we know the very popular Rich Dad Poor Dad. These were the book I read like 2 decades ago, and they've really been a blessing to me. Another pillar that you must have in place. So we talked about your mindset. We talked about you having the right kind of education continuously. And then the next one is you must secure a source of income. You must have earnings. So what is this one all about? It means you need a place where that first seed will come from. If you're not in work, it's hard for you to build wealth. There must be a kind of source of income where you start from for you to be able to build wealth. So like we have on the slides, that you need to first secure a source. Okay, you need to first secure a source. I think there's a typo there. It should be bread, not break. It should be bread and seed. So that source is where you get your bread and your seed from. Okay, for everything that comes into your hand, there is a seed. Okay, like we've said, and I will explain that when we go through the phases. I will probably put more context into that. And then there's a need for you to protect your source of income. Okay, and then like I put there in fourth bullet point, you where you are right now is a bridge to where you want to be, and no one builds a house on a bridge. You have to keep moving, progressing in your career, becoming a professional. And in the next slide, I will show you my progression in the UK, okay, and how the Lord has helped me to progress along the line. And when you progress that way, your source of income increases, your earning increases, your capacity to do good increases, your capacity to invest increases, and all of that. So increase your capacity, take a profession that is that is not common to other people, change your career, negotiate a better pay, have an additional source of income, like they say, have a side hustle, and the rest of it. And so the next one is just a quick summary of my progression in the UK, starting out as a warehouse operative, moving on to healthcare assistant, moving on to becoming a support analyst, moving on to becoming a DevOps engineer, moving on to becoming a business analyst, and to become a consultant at it, and I'm moving on to become a solution architect, which is what I'm working towards right now. So you need to keep moving. When you keep making that kind of progress, you increase your income, your take home, and then you are able to invest more. You're able to do more good. Hallelujah. So the next one is I have it there is that very few will become millionaires working 9 to 5 jobs for others. Yeah, it's just a sad truth that you put in 9 to 5 every day, and at the end of the day, you might not get to that point of becoming the CEO of a multinational. But there's something under that I say, but you can make your money work for you 24/7 to become a millionaire. Every day people can become a millionaire. Depends on how early you start and how much you put away to be able to get to that $1 million, £1 million mark. Okay, every one of us can do it. You can allow time to work in your favor, and I'll give you examples of how that can be possible. Pillar number 4 is that you must control your finances. Don't let your finances control you. And you can see what I have there in bold. It's actually a quote from the richest man in Babylon. It said, what each of us calls our necessary expenses will always grow to equal our income unless we protest to the contrary. Okay? What you call, underline the word necessary expenses. What you think is necessary, I must just do this. If I don't do this, it's going to be the end of the world. Those things will always increase to be equal to how much you are earning unless you control it. It's called lifestyle creep. Your lifestyle creeps up to meet your income. When you were earning 3,000, it seemed as if it wasn't enough. You moved on to 5,000, wasn't enough. You're on 7,000 right now. It seems as if it's not enough. Why? Because you are not resisting that lifestyle creep. Because you will want a bigger car, a bigger house, a newer car, more holidays, a more expensive shoe, and they're all good. They are all wonderful, but what is the ratio of that to what you are putting aside as your seed? Okay, what is the ratio of that? Okay, you don't want that ratio to be more than what you are putting into other area of your life. So we look at the reason, and that's the reason why we must do budgeting. You must be able to allocate whatever is coming to you. Don't let that money control you. Allocate it intentionally. And I have examples here, but this is not strict example. So we have the 50-20, the 50-30 rule. It's a very common rule that is being taught across the world. If you're just joining us, you'll probably be promoted to become a panelist, where you can ask questions through the audio and you'll be able to chat. If you don't accept that is also okay. Okay, so you have here, I just given an example of the 50, 30, 20. It might not strictly be that amount. It depends on how much that is coming in, because rent, living expenses will always take a chunk of the income. Okay, so this is just an example of you having all of this. But if you look at the yellow part of it, is that you have a percentage that you are budgeted either for savings, for investment, or for paying off whatever loans that you have. Okay, and then I have another one. If your income moves on to 5,000, what do? You've increased that yellow part at the bottom to like 15%, because you are balancing. Now you are now going towards the 50, 30, 20 kind of arrangement. Okay, but the most important thing is that yellow part, you got something going in there on a monthly basis. I'll move on quickly to the next pillar. that you must have in place to be able to build generational wealth. The next one is be strategic about building wealth. Now, you have seeds you've been putting aside. Okay, there's a need for you to be now strategic. What do I do with it? Do I leave it in just in my account? I was listening to Pastor Ashimalo one day. He says savings account is shaving account. They're just shaving off your money because you put in money there, they give you 0.5%, except now that we know there's inflation and interest rate has gone up. You put money in there, they give you a 0.5% per annum in interest, and then you go and get a credit card, and credit card they will charge you 22, 23, 27% on credit card, and that is your money that they are giving back to you at a higher rate. So savings is, you need to go beyond savings to be able to build wealth. So we look at the investment in stock and money market, investment in real estate, or buying or starting a business, and you being able to also avoid raking up debts in the process. So that's that pillar. You must have that pillar in place. You must, and we'll talk more about this before the end of this session. We'll look at how we can get started in these areas. Okay, pillar number 6 that you must have in place is wealth preservation. Very, very important. Wealth preservation. There's no point having it all together and losing it to either tax evasion either tax raiding by the government, or you not balancing your portfolio very well, and there's an economic downturn and you lose it. So there's a way you have to learn risk management, which involves diversification into different sector, into different investment instruments. You being able to balance your portfolio, that you are not too concentrated on a particular area or sector, and you being able to invest based on your age. So that there's age where what you have should be in your portfolio at a certain age. I do a lot of high reward, high risk kind of investment, because I believe I still have a few decades before retirement. Okay, so there are things you have in your portfolio that would dictate your risk appetite, that would dictate how you are able to preserve whatever you are blessed with. And then you need tax advice from a professional to be able to know the best thing to do when it comes to taxation. Okay, the next part of it is just a definition of your risk. You consider the worst case scenario, you accept it, and you have a plan to mitigate against that particular worst case scenario. Okay, pillar number 7. Pillar number 7, I think we're doing good with time. Okay, it's saying succession planning. And how do you now transfer this to the next generation? Even though this doesn't have to do with when you are very old. You can start that now by opening their own accounts for them, by bringing them in as shareholders in your company, and by creating trust, by having a will, by educating them a ways through which you can start transferring or having your succession plan in place. And I think for me, the most important point there is the number 1, educating the next generation. Because if you are well educated, they will also be able to build wealth. There's a problem with wealthy people. When you have that money, the next generation will think, oh, it's our right to have this money, and they don't build upon it. They are spending old money. Okay, by the time you get to the 3rd generation, a sense of entitlement is there, and before you know it, before you get to the 4th generation, it's all gone. Why? Lack of education. Or if the education is there, there are new ways of making money. The ways you made money in the 80s is not the way you are making money right now. If you look into the market, companies who are into AI, their shares have gone up, like NVIDIA, all the people producing microchips and processors for AI, their shares have gone up 100%, around 50% just in the last 6 months. Microsoft has gone up because they bought and invested in ChatGPT. A lot of other companies that could benefit from AI, it's gone up because that's the new way to make money right now. Okay, those who made money from social media like Facebook and the rest of them made their money. If they don't reinvent themselves, they might not be able to make money in the next 10 years, because things will keep changing. So education, I think, is the first part of you creating that succession, put that succession plan in place. A family office is a very good idea, which is something I'm looking into, where you have professionals who manage the wealth for the family and for generations within the family. I've got here pillar number 8. I was going to look at 7, but we have pillar number 8, which is charitable giving. And this is you committing yourself to a good cause. And I put in a link here. If you look at people who give the most, there are also people who have been able to build wealth over the years. Let me just quickly click on that link, and let me see if that will work. And I have a list of a few people here. They are kind of familiar. They're kind of familiar names. Let me just quickly bring that up. And then you can see familiar names there. You can see Warren Buffett is given out 46 billion, and his money is giving his money to Bill Gates, to Melinda Gates, to do charity for him. You can see Bill Gates himself given out 33 billion of their money, and some people will say, oh, some some people, they provided service. Some people will say, okay, they given by what they've taken. No, they can choose not to give to charity, because they made their money, by providing goods and services. George Soros is an activity investor. If you come into your company, buy a lot of shares in your company, revamp the company, and then you look at Michael Bloomberg, was New York mayor for a very long time, and then you can see is 12 billion given out. You can see the wife of Jeff Bezos, Amazon, giving out 8 billion, on and on like that. When you have a lot, you are also able to do more good. So what is that cost that is there to your heart? Okay, that you can give to. A lot of people run marathon races to raise funds for a lot of research, and then for researches and a lot of things. So it's something that you can also that you want to do as you are being blessed. Okay. So what's that good cause that is there to your heart that you want to give to? And so we look at so that's the first part of the promise on the advertisement, that we go through the 7 pillars of building wealth. And there are things that you do, pari passu, having the education, having the mindset, having a source of income, start investing in a very strategic way. Are you being able to give to charity and the rest of them? Okay, so you have to be able to have that in mind and keep doing all of those. So we look at the first phase. So we are all in different phases. When I look at myself, I think I'm probably on phase 3 of this. So at first level, you want to have an understanding of money, and that's why if you're in this class, you are getting that understanding already. Okay, you're having a mindset reset. You're becoming you living old habits, breaking old habits, and you are imbibing new habits. And then at this point, you want to become debt free. You want to, if you have debts, you want to pay them off. You want to have a plan in place to be able to pay them off in the next 24 months. However, you are going to do, and you don't want to add more to that debt. When you are debt free, you have more spare cash to be able to invest. And you want to be, and in this first phase, you want to put aside £1,000 in your reserve fund. And what that will help you to do is to prevent you from going into credit cards. Maybe something happened, you had a puncture, you need to buy another tire. Tire is maybe 100 or 200 pounds. You don't have to go into credit card to do that. That prevents you from going into credit or into overdraft. And you want to form an habit of paying yourself first. Okay, I said I will emphasize this a little bit more when I get here. You want to have that habit of paying yourself first. So what does it mean to pay yourself first? It means your name is part of the expense list. That's a mistake a lot of us make. Your name is not part of the expense list. You think once I bought a shirt, I bought a skirt, a blouse, or a bag, or a shoe for myself, I've paid myself. Or because I've eaten, or because I've paid my rent, I've paid myself. No, that's not how to pay yourself. All of that is still bread. That's a seed part of what comes to your hand. If you receive £100, a part of it is a seed, and that seed is what you pay yourself. So you say, okay, I have too much expenses, and so I can't afford to put anything aside. So I'm going to ask you, if the council tax should go up by £10 today, will you pay it, or will you, because of that, leave the country? Okay. When the cost of gasoline or petrol went up, do we still drive our cars? Okay. So if your rent should go up by £50 or £100, will you still pay? So if you can do that, so see it as if from today your rent has gone up by £100. Okay, and that £100 is what you want to pay yourself. So put your name in your expense list and say, my own pay out of my salary is £100. Okay, so when you do that, that's you paying yourself. And it's you being able to form the habit. It's not about how much you put aside. If it is £20 you put aside consistently on a monthly basis, you form an habit. And once you form that habit, it becomes very hard for you to break. When you start earning a lot of money, you have a lot of spare, your income has increased, you've already formed an habit of paying yourself. Just a matter of increasing that based on percentage of your income, 10%, 15%, 20% of your income, whatever it is that you are putting aside. Okay, and we go to phase 2. So you can still be in that phase where what you are trying to do is you are trying to put aside £100, open an investment account. When you pay yourself that little amount, put into that investment account and let it begin to work for you 24/7 for you to start building wealth. And as your income increases, you increase how much you pay yourself, and that goes into your investment account. Phase number 2 is people, once you move to phase number 2, you paid off your debt, you have £1,000 in contingency fund, you open your investment account with a few investments in it. You want to move on to building a contingency fund that is more than 1,000, anything that can cover you for the next 3 to 6 months. Okay, in case you are between jobs, as we say in the United Kingdom, in case you are between jobs, okay, you want to have that aside for you to be able to fall back on without having to go into borrowing into credit card. So you are preventing yourself from going to borrowing or being in a very crisis situation. You're preventing that from happening. Someone said, a lot of us are 1 or 2 events away from really getting into big mess financially. You don't want to be in that position. At that point, you're automating your saving, and you're having nothing less than a 10% of your income, of your gross income, or of your maybe net income after tax going into investment on a direct debit basis, is going with that. As your rent is coming out first of the month, your savings is coming out, and so there's no excuse for not using it. You are bringing your spouse up to the same page. They are seeing the result of what you are doing. They all want to be part of it. You are going for mentoring. You are learning more, having deeper understanding of what is going on, because you need continuous education. Somebody is showing you a better way of doing what you are doing. There's always a better way of doing whatever we are all doing now. Okay, and then you are beginning to consolidate your open investment account for each of your children, and then you begin to formulate an investment strategy. Okay, and then the phase number 3 that you get to is that you now can diversify your portfolio more than what you started with, into different instruments, beyond shares and mutual funds. You are going into dividend paying kind of investment. You're going into different country and different sector to invest. You now have a better understanding of what a bad or good investment is. Like I said, I'm probably on this in this phase in my journey. You trying to pay off your family mortgage so that you pay that off, and that is out of the way. And then you're putting a minimum of 15 to 20% of your income into investment. You now form an investment philosophy. It's different from an investment strategy. You now form a philosophy that you don't break. No matter what's happening, this is my investment philosophy. If this company does not fit my philosophy, I don't buy it. I can wait 2, 3, 4 years before you buy, because until it fits your investment philosophy based on data, you won't put your money into it. But at that point, you are now probably doing large sum of money, and you don't want to take as much risk as what you are doing on phase 2. Okay, when you just have a very simple strategy, and you can start. What I do currently is a very simple strategy, but it's working for me. But at that point, you form a deeper philosophy of what to do. For instance, for Warren Buffett, he does what is called value investing. That is his philosophy. He buys something and he keeps it for life. Anything he buys, in most cases, he will keep for life. Okay, and that doesn't mean he's always right. He's made a mistake. He's admitted he has made a lot of mistakes in his investment journey, but he's got that philosophy to stand by at all times. So by the time you get to phase 4, like I said, you have properties across the continent, not just only in the UK. You have investment across geographical areas. You have more sophisticated investment. You are probably putting money in. You are doing angel investing. That's putting money into startups, into new company coming up, doing new innovations. Because in 10 years' time, there will be new innovations. That's just the way the world works. There'll be new innovations. So you are supporting those innovations coming up, because you now have, and it's probably 1 or 2% of your assets that you are using to do that anyway. Okay, you have multiple streams of income. You have your estate planning is becoming solidified, and then you're setting up a foundation to be able to be a blessing to other people at that point. And the last phase, which is the 5th phase, your next generation, they are in a place where they can take over even when you are there and be able to run things, and they know your mind, they know exactly what you would want. They are vast, they know what they are meant to do. Okay, they are now grown up and they are able to take charge and run things even while you are still there. Okay, your succession plan is in place, and then your family office is being set up, and you are in retirement. You are having a wonderful time. Okay, just enjoying yourself and mentoring people who are coming behind you. So those are the 5 phases I'm going to talk about today. That you kind of go through. You can be in multiple phases at the same time. Okay, and then you are just going through that. Okay. So let's go into some numbers, not big ones, some that we can all relate with very well. Okay, but before that, let's look at the demystifying the cash flow quadrant. Is anybody learning anything? Are we learning something? Are we getting 1 or 2 things? Okay. Yeah, I can see thumbs up. I can see that thumbs up. Okay. Thank you for that encouragement. I know I've not been speaking. I've just been speaking to myself. Yes. Okay. So it could be a lot at this point, but I'm sure you are picking 1 or 2 things, and then we'll be able to make use of that as we go on. Thank you. I'm getting that. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. So what is a cash flow quadrant? Okay. And you have the E quadrants. Robert Kiyosaki was the one that developed this, and I think it's very useful for every one of us to understand what this is. The E is employment, the B is business, the S is self-employed, and the I is investment. Okay, employment, business, self-employed, and investment. Okay, and this is the explanation. So if you are in an employment right now, what do? You have a job. Your time equals to money. If you don't go to work, if you stop working, you stop getting paid. You have no leverage. And that is not a good place to be. You are one person working 100% of your income. So you just have a job. Okay? And the next part of the next quadrant, next to that is the S quadrant, where you where you own a job, even though you are self-employed. Or when you are self-employed, if you don't go to work, you don't pick up that shift, or if you don't go to work, you still don't get paid. If you don't go to work, your clients are not happy, you don't get paid. So you own a job. You don't have a job, but you own a job. Your time equals to your money. It's just leverage. Okay, it will still take you to work every day to be able to earn money. Okay, as a self-employed person. And then as a business person, you now have a system in place. You employ people to work the system. Whether you are there or not, you have well-trained people. People can make money for you. You have leverage. So more people equals to more money. You are now able to multiply yourself into a lot of people. By saying 1% of times 100, 1% times 100 is what your income is. So it's not when you are 100% of you that that is your income. So you now have a lot of people working, and you're duplicating the same thing that you are able to do. Okay. And then the last part is you being an investor. And this is where your money works for you. This is where you want to be. But there is a transition. Okay. You don't have to be here now. So it means you can be here, employee, and then you are putting money into the high 100. And that's what this training is all about. You are here in your 9 to 5, or you are here, you as a consultant, you are self-employed, and then you are putting money into the investors quadrant. Okay, so your money is working for you while you still have a job, while you still own a job. Okay, or you are starting a business by the side while you still own a job, or you are converting your consultancy into a business where you can now employ people to be able, other consultants to be able to train people up to do what you are doing. Maybe you have an accounting firm. You now have accountants who are doing the same thing for you. Okay, or you have an IT consultancy firm. You now have IT consultants who are doing the same thing for you. So you are moving from being just a self-employed to having a business. And money made here can come into the investment quadrant. And that's what you do. And that's when your money starts working for you. Whether you are sleeping or not, I look at our portfolio in the last 1 week. We did this training last week, Thursday. And I look at it this Thursday, and I can see about 4,000 pounds of income, has been generated without me doing anything about it. It's just money that have been there. And within a week, you have about 4,000 in income that came into the portfolio without having to do anything extra. That is your money working for you. Okay, so, and that's what is called leverage. You have passive income, you leverage on other people's, time. Bill Gates is working hard for you. It's nobody's CEO. He has retired. He's just doing philanthropy now. You have Elon Musk working for you day and night, thinking of how to make more money. You have his knowledge working for you. You have other people, wisdom, influence, money, and time bringing income for you because you put a little bit away into investment. Okay, let's look at time. Okay, we are halfway through. Okay, so the next thing I want us to go into is to look at how can you really apply all these things? How can you get started? Which is the essence of this. Because at the end of this of today, I want you to have an account opened. At the end of today, I want to probably put the first equity or the first stock into your portfolio, or looking at the next property that you want to buy. Okay, but for those who doesn't have that big deposit to put in the property, you see something that you can start with 25 pounds or 100 pounds or and I understand that a lot of people some people register from Nigeria, some from Canada, some from America, wherever you are from. This principle is the same thing across the continent. When I get to the point which is specific to the United Kingdom, I will let you know. Everything I've said is anywhere you live on the planet, you can apply whatever I've talked about, and when I get to UK specific, I will let you know. Okay, so compound interest. Somebody said it's the eighth wonder of the world. He said, if you don't understand compound interest, you pay for it. When you understand it, you earn it. So if you don't understand the power of compound interest, you keep paying for it through credit cards. When you understand it through shares and investment, you enjoy the power of compound interest. Okay. And the last one says, Benjamin Franklin said, he said, money makes money, and the money that money makes more money. Okay, that's just a very simple explanation of compound interest. You have a money that makes money, that money joins the original one to make more money, and so the money that you've made keeps making more money. Okay, so let's go to some example. I will copy this link. I'll copy this link into the chat for us. Let me see if let me click on it, and then I will copy it into the chat for us. It's a good calculator I use whenever I do this training, and I'll use it personally. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, let me see. Okay, I'll copy it. I will minimize that, and I'll quickly copy it and put in the chat for us to be able to use. It's good to have it. Where is that slide? Okay, so I'll copy that into the chart. I use that a lot. Okay, and I will also go there. Okay, I will go back to sharing my screen again. Okay, so that is a compound interest calculator. Let's play around with it. Like I said, this is the one I use. I normally use. There are other ones there, but I like this one better. Okay, and it doesn't matter which currency you use. It's all numbers. And then I will go to the next slide to be able to use this calculator. And so the next slide, the next example is this. So if you look at this example, the next example is this. So I have here a few parameters. If you have a child age 0, age 1, age 2, you have opening an account for them. Or then again, if you have someone who's already in their 30s or 20s, somebody who's already in their 60s, I will use this calculator to simulate a few numbers. And then, so let me minimize so that I can pick the data from there. Okay. Don't worry, I think I'll be able to remember some of them. Okay, so let's assume that you have a child, you just given birth, maybe age 1 or age 2, and this is something I want every parent to be able to do for every of our children. So age 0, if you open an account in that simulation of £1,000 for them, like I said, the currency doesn't matter, and then at an interest rate of 10%. And I use 10% because this market's S&P 500 over the last 75 years have returned between 8 to 10% annually, despite all the ups and downs in the market. When you do the average, you have an average of 10% in return. Okay, and that's what I've used there. By the time that child is 18, maybe on his or her way to college, 16, 17, 18, they're about on their way to college, and then you put in £200 for them on a monthly basis, not daily basis, on a monthly basis. When you calculate that, what you will get is 126,000 by the time that child is 18. And I can assure you that this will give them a pedestal to stand on for life. Okay, what have you put in? You've only put in 43,000 initial balance of 1,000. You added 43,000 over that period of time. If you don't add it, I can bet you in 18 years time you don't know what you've done with that money. You look back and you say 200. What have I done with it? You don't know where that money is gone. But when you start putting it in 18 years time, you know where you put it. because it will be in your investment account. So that account have yielded for you 81,000. And what can you do with it, with this? Okay, I put a link in my. So what can you do with this? They can pay their tuition through the uni. Okay, with this, or they can pay for the first year, use part of it to buy a property. Okay, in the city where they are going to university, buy an apartment for them there. Okay, a 2-bed, a 3-bed apartment, or a 2 or 3-bed house. It's a university city that will always be need for rent. Okay, and they are there, they can bring in their, they can become landlord and can let out a room. Okay, or there's no need for a lounge. They rent out 2 rooms for their mates. They are in the university, they're already a landlord. They own a property as a year 1 student. Their school fees is taken care of, and they are earning rent. And when they leave that, once they finish from university, they move on to another city. They're okay. That place remains a rental property for them. That is you starting them on a good pedestal. They finish school without a single debt. Okay, and the average student loan is, I think, about 40-something thousand pounds. You don't want them finishing school with a 40-something thousand pounds. And learn now that you have to pay off everything. It's not 30 years. You probably have to pay off everything in one's lifetime. Okay, so that's an example. Okay, we can keep changing this figure to simulate this example. Okay, if you open a junior SIP for them, which is a retirement account, which they can hold until they are 55. And once they turn 18 or 19, you hand over the account to them. So all your job finishes when they are like 18 or so. You hand over the account to them, and they keep putting in 200 pounds into that account. By the time they are 55, what do they have? They will have 5 million in that account. It means they can retire before they are 55. Okay, if you lower that number to, let's say, I know time works with compound interest, work better with time. So by the time they are 45, they have 2 million in their pension account. The cap has been lifted, isn't it? So you have like 2 million in your investment account. So you want to retire at 45 and go and do something else, you can. Why? Because you started very, very early. Okay, how much have you put in? See what you put in. You've only put in 100. See what compound interest have done for you. Okay, it's taking it to that particular level. So I can simulate more. Okay, let's assume you're already 30. Okay, you are starting today. You're starting with 1,000. Let's be consistent with that. And then you're putting in between now and when for the next, maybe for another, you are 30, for another maybe 37 years when you retire. I think 67 thereabout is the retirement age. You're working, you're already in your 30s, you are putting in maybe 300. I will expect more than that. If you're already in your 30, you expect more than that. And then if you look at that, you already will have 1.4 at retirement. So it's not too late to start. So if you are still 30 now, you want to start right now, you're on your way to becoming a millionaire before retirement. And then if the older you are, the more you want to put in. So if what you have left is maybe 20 years, you probably want to increase this to maybe like 500 every month. Some can put as high as 1,000 on a monthly basis. It all depends on how much your income is. So let's do 500 for this. For another 20 years, if probably you're already getting to like 50 years old, and then you look at what that is giving you 380,000. It's still a very decent amount. If you look at it, it means you can withdraw, you can put yourself on an annual income of 30,000 every month, and you probably won't finish spending this for the rest of your life if you just spend the interest on it, which is 10% interest on it on a yearly basis, 30,000 on a yearly basis, and you probably won't finish spending it. Okay, so depending on where you are, that will determine how much you put into it. So let me go back to the simulation of that young man, that young girl, or someone who is starting a little bit early. So you started, you build this till you're 55, and all you do is 200. So you have something like I've said. So let me come down and do something for, let's say you are 30 right now, and then you do for another 30 years, you put in 500, okay? And let me see what that will give us. So I want to do a withdrawal, you withdrawing money out of your account. So you have at the age of 60, you are 30, at the age of 60, you have one. It's not your retirement. Let's assume you retire at the age of 60. So you are starting your investment with 1.1 million, okay, at 10%, and then you live to be over 100. So I put 41, that's 101. You are 101, and then you don't put in any money anymore. You withdraw from it. Okay, let's assume you now at that point you put yourself on 60,000 per annum, which is very decent for someone who has retired. Sorry, is it per month? Okay, let's do per month. That would be like 5,000, I think. 5,000 per month, which I think is decent for any retiree. And your state pension is still there. Your private, your workplace pension is still there. Okay. Okay, let me remove the commas. Let me just make it 1.5. So that will be 1.5. Is that 1.5? Yes, that's 1.5. And then you're withdrawing 5,000 on a monthly basis. And this is what you have. Okay, that money will never finish, because what you are withdrawing from it is 60,000 per annum, but the interest generating is 170,000 on a yearly basis is what is coming in. But what you are withdrawing from it is just 60,000. That means that money will, by the time you are 101, you still have 33 million to pass on to the next generation. I think that is a very good one. And I think that's, by God's grace, what I am targeting, that you live so much, that you lived a very good life, and you're living so much for the coming generation. And I believe you can do the same thing too. Okay, so if you are above 30, all you need to do is to increase that was, I think I used 500 or so. You can increase that a little bit more, and then you can still arrive at something above $1 million. And by the time you go into withdrawing from it, okay, you are withdrawing, you're only spending your interest. Okay, when you say you are only spending the interest of the money, your capital is there. All you are doing is just touching your interest. And then you can also, it could just be what you want to do. Okay, let's go back to the slide. So that's compound interest, I think, and that's time and the power of interest working for you over a period of time. Okay, and so let's go to the next slide. Do I have a question in there? Okay, let me see. What type of account is this? Okay, so this can be any account. Okay, what type of account is this? This can be any account, which I'll give us the types that we have in the UK. And this is any investment account that can give you a return of up to 10% of per annum basis. Okay, and historically, the stock market on a long-term basis can give you that average of 10%. Okay, and so I will get to the types that are available in the UK. Okay, I'll go to the next one. So here I have just to also show us what is possible in the market. Okay, you can't get 100% of your stock right. Okay, no one does. If you are 60%, if you are right 60%, you'll be fine. Okay, even if you pick 10 stocks and 6 of them are very good, and the remaining 4 of them are not too good, you will still be fine, because you can see one stock giving you 400%, another one giving you 10%. Okay, so it balances out. So I have here again. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this link in the. Okay, I will share this link in the chat for us to play around with. Okay, the first one. So this is a real-time stock calculator. This is telling us what has happened in the market. And so you can put any year from any year to any year to simulate this. Then you will see that if you pick your stock right, the 10% is conservative, okay, estimate of what is possible. So I'm going to bring up one of those. Okay, let's bring this up. We can also use the other one, which is this. Any one of these. You come around here, you see here, or if you choose to use this one, it will give us results, very similar results. Okay, now we want to look at things that, for instance, that I own in my portfolio that you can own. You can also own some of them, but you need to do a research before you jump into it, because it depends. There's a few other factors you have to look at. But let's look at some things that has happened in the last 10 years. For instance, I'm starting with Apple. Okay, what has Apple returned in the last 10 years? So the ticker, there's something called ticker, is AAPL for Apple. Okay, and if you're looking at 2013 to date, if you put is that 1,000? Okay, let's leave it at 1,000. You put 1,000 into Apple. Okay, in the last 10 years, it will give you 14,000. You have 14,000 today. Okay, and then if you put in 2,000 in the last 10 years, you have 29,000 in your account today. How many of us would have been able to spend 1,000 or 2,000 in the last 10 years? 10 years ago, I probably would have been able to, okay, to do that. But, something was lacking is the knowledge, okay? And let's pick on another stock. You have you don't have to do anything. You just buy it and close your platform and walk away. And if you open that platform today, you meet the 29,000 pounds cash that you can sell and go and use to buy a property if you want to. Okay, let's look at another one. Look at another one. So we will are giving you an annual return of 30%, 30.9% on a yearly basis if you prorate the annual return. Okay, another one is Nike. Okay, I have this one. The ticker is NKE. Okay, what would Nike have given you? If you put 2,000 into Nike, okay, it would have given you 7,000. Still a decent return. It's still a 14% on the average on a yearly basis if you look at it, because it's 200% over the 10 years, a 14% return over the last 10 years. Okay, let's pick up another one. If you put Microsoft, how many of us have a laptop? You probably have Windows running on it. You probably use MSFT is the ticker. You probably have Microsoft Office running on it. I'm using PowerPoint, is Microsoft. If you go to your office, you use Microsoft, isn't it? So everyone seems to be contributing money to Microsoft. And then if you put in 2,000 pounds there, 10 years ago, if you open your account today, you meet 27,000 in that account, an average of 29% per annum. And these are things that are obvious to us. But what was lacking was, how do I go about it? Okay, Coca-Cola. The ticker is KO, 2,000 in Coca-Cola. It will have given you a decent amount, 7%, slightly below the 10% we are looking at. But reason why Coca-Cola is like that is a very stable company. Whether it's recession or not recession, people are drinking Coke. In time of war, Coca-Cola said they went to war during World War, was it II or World War I? They are still selling. So it's not very high growth like Microsoft and Apple, but it's steady, it pays dividend, but you are there, it's constant. Use that to balance the volatile ones, okay? And then if you look at McDonald's, and I would move on quickly, I won't be able to go to all the examples. Let's look at McDonald's. It's another slow and steady one. MCD, McDonald's. If you put 2,000 in McDonald's, 10 years ago, you have 7,000 in your account. is still very decent at 14% on a yearly basis. There's no bank that can give you, even despite the current 4-5% interest in savings account, no bank can give you 14% per annum in return. Okay, so let's go to some new companies that are just coming up who are into different things. For instance, we've all got Netflix subscription. Let's look at what Netflix will give us. Okay, we all contribute money to them on a daily basis, so why not be a shareholder? Okay, so 25,000 will be in your account today if you put in money into Netflix. I'm not even sure they went to the day they went to public. I'm not sure they're up to 10 years in the market yet, but whatever period of time that they've been in the market, that will have returned to you 25,000 pounds from your 2,000. That's your money working for you. You don't have to do anything. What about the popular Tesla? TSLA. Tesla came a little bit down today. People didn't like the report they gave yesterday, so it came a little bit down today. But let's see what they've done in the last 10 years. Your 2,000 in Tesla will have become 72,000. And that's 42% on a yearly basis as the rate of return. So you can see that if you pick your stock right, it's possible to achieve 10%. So that 10% is not a bogus figure. If you pick them right, you can achieve that 10%. Some of them will be negative. Okay, some of them will give you negative return in 10 years. You probably earn dividend from such a stock because they are not high growth, but they pay good dividend. Okay, so but they will have to balance out at the end of the day. Okay, S&P 500. So I will explain what that is. S&P 500 is a collection of top 500 companies in America. So it's Standard & Poor. It's a rating company. They rate countries, they rate individual companies, they rate stock. So they rate stock and they rate the top 500. So it becomes you can invest in what we call ETF. ETF will track the movement of all the stock in S&P 500. So if you don't want to bother yourself with picking individual stock, just buy an ETF that tracks S&P, and whatever S&P returns to you, which is an average of 10%, is what you get from that ETF. So that's what that is. So if you have any individual company that is not an index, you can let me like NASDAQ is an index, S&P 500 is an index, Dow Jones is an index. Okay, so you have individual companies, you can put in the chart and we'll look at how much return they would have given you. There's another one which I really like, making a lot of wave in AI now, NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA, they do graphic cards for system, all the servers for mining of cryptocurrencies, system, every gaming system, all of it. They have microchips in almost every computer you have out there. So you would have made 200,000. I've made like 400% on NVIDIA. So I know this is possible, and I know you can do it. I've had over 100% on Microsoft. So it depends on when you are starting. So this is giving you 60% on a yearly basis, and it is very possible. So I'll move on quickly. I think we get the gist. We get the gist that 10% is possible, and even when you have the negative ones, 10% is not out of reach, depending on how you select your portfolio. So we have here what has happened in the last 10 years for S&P. If I put NASDAQ is a lot better than this because its technology is moving very fast. For S&P, which is the standard that everybody uses, it's a collection of both manufacturing, technology, everything together at top 500. This is what they've returned over the years. 2021, 2%, 1% in 2015, very low. 2018 was negative. Okay, 2020, the year of coronavirus, was still positive, 18%. Last year, which due to inflation, stocks have been down 18%, but now they picked up again. Even this year, S&P is already 16.9% up, even in the last 6 months alone. Okay, which is the average. So you know, and what I normally tell people is that don't be discouraged. You might be in the market this year that the market did minus 4%. Oh, you can say, oh, no, I put my money is gone. No, this stock market is I don't want to do anymore. No, it's a long-term gain. And I'll tell people, if you have deposit for your house, you are buying your house next year, don't put in the stock market. Okay, if you are going on holiday next year, don't put your holiday money in the stock market. Okay, because you give it time. You give it at least 5 years. Be consistent with what you are doing. Be consistent for the next 5 years, and then you see good results. So you can be in the market in the year of 32%. Okay, but it's not always like that. So you see, wow, I double my money. You now go and borrow money and put, and then it becomes the year that is minus 4. Do you understand what I'm saying? So whatever you will need in the next 1 year, 2 years, please don't put in the stock market. It could be a year that coronavirus is going to happen. Okay, but if you look at it over coronavirus till now, I say that we've seen a lot of improvement. Okay, so that will take us to the next slide. Okay, and I can show you this is what I have done, and I can show you how to do the same thing. Okay, so if you look at last year when it was minus 18, okay, because market was going down. This is November 20. It started from November 2020. Market started crashing. Okay, you can see it's coming down. Okay, you can see my portfolio going up the same period. Okay, this is the same November 2020 to date. Okay, you can see my portfolio going up when market is coming down. Okay, you can see this is today's trading. These ones are down today, but you can see return of 100%, 200% within that same period. This is just one of several accounts that I have. So I opened this one November 2020 when market started going down. And so through that period, I was consistent. And so what I put up here is that position don't predict. You can't time the market. You can't time the year the market will do good. You can't time the day that the market will do good. It's futile trying to time the market. So what do? Have a conviction about your stock and position yourself in that stock. So what I was doing that when it was coming down, I was buying. So, and then within the next, now I position myself all through the time market was coming down. Some people they've closed their platform, they've abandoned it. Okay, that's not how to be professional when you're investing. Yeah, the market is coming down, look for opportunities. That was the reason why you buy the stock in the first place. So if you hadn't followed the crowd to buy the stock, when Microsoft was coming down, as good as Microsoft and Apple is, let me show us what happened to them during that is not my popular browser. I use this a lot more, and so the history will be here. Okay, so let me show you some of this popular. So this is the market today. So MSFT, Microsoft. So look at Microsoft in the last 5 years. So this is November 2021. Okay, so I opened the account November 2021. Look at Microsoft. It came down 34%. Okay, but if you look at it this way, it's gone up just 2%. But I've done like almost 100% on it because I was positioning myself. Each time Microsoft is down, I buy a little bit more. It came down, I buy a little bit more. So you are dollar, you are pound. It's easier to call in dollar. You dollar average your cost. So you bought at 100, it came to 50. You bought at 50, you average out your cost price. Okay, Microsoft is here. I'm buying a little bit more. Now Microsoft took off from here. It's done 50%. I've made money because I was consistent in the market. I didn't close my platform. I didn't walk away because that was the reason why I bought Microsoft. What was going on in the market was bad, was general. It wasn't because of Microsoft. Look at Microsoft within that same period. Okay, they were making money. Okay, This is their annual return. They're making money. They made almost 200 billion. 2022, 2021, they made 168 billion in revenue. Look at decent profit coming in. So I know, so you have the confidence that Microsoft is a good buy for you. So what do? It's on discount. What's happening now in town centers? 30% sale. Microsoft is on 30% sale. Let's go and buy. That is the excitement because you know it's a good company. If you look at AAP, you look at Apple during that same period, okay, 5 years. So Apple didn't go down as much as Microsoft. But if you look at November, okay, November from here, say December 2021 to here, Apple was down 27%. Okay, so when Apple was going down, you keep buying more, but you come around here, you can see it's gone up 48% just this year. Okay, and then because you bought it at a very cheap rate, you've averaged your cost, and so you are in profit. So that's one key strategy that I've just shown us there. Dollar costing, buying when it is low. So let me bring up my slide again, and then we'll continue. Okay, so next. So what am I saying? Dollar cost average or pound cost average into the market. Okay, don't predict, position yourself. The days you have the red bars, no, just position yourself, just another day. And again, you don't need to look at your platform on a daily basis. Just keep doing what you believe or you have conviction about over the years. So let me look at the time. Okay, we have a few more minutes left. Indices tracks the market benchmark. Okay, thank you for that. Does stock work with compound interest pattern? Okay, so what happens is that because whatever you make in dividend goes back into it, and whatever you made, whatever, what do you call it, whatever money you are adding is increasing in value. Whatever dividend you get gets reinvested in it, and whatever appreciation you have on the stock is also part of your earning. So all of this work together for you to compound your income. Okay, so now let me run and look at investment instruments that we have and then so that we'll be able to take your first step. Okay, so the first step we have here is we have a lot of things you can invest in: money market, stock market, real estate, entrepreneurship, angel investing. But I will look at ETF, mutual funds, stock. They are stock markets. Okay, they are the same thing. We'll look at the ones in green, this color. We quickly look at these. Savings, we'll probably skip. I'll just give you a website for that. Real estate, we'll just touch the advantage of real estate and give you one example of what I've done in the past. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, and this was merely in the month. Like I said, I didn't plan to go to NASDAQ when we chose to go to New York. But when I was in New York, I said I have to be in NASDAQ. Went to NASDAQ, went to the New York Stock Exchange, went to Wall Street just to have a flavor of what's all these things, where they are, and really had a good connection with it. Okay, so we have stock markets. Stock market is the place where you buy and sell all these instruments, be it mutual funds, be it stocks, be it commodities. There are commodity exchange. There are stock exchanges. For NASDAQ is mostly technology, while New York Stock Exchange is every other thing. And then you have the indices where you have a collection of a particular kind of stock grouped together, either into mutual fund or into derivatives. So we have here CAC is what the France one is called, DAX is what the German one is called, Nickel is what the Japan one is called. So that just and London Stock Exchange is what the UK one is called. So investment platform quickly. Okay, this is where you are able to access the market. this is where you are able. So the screenshot I showed us is an investment platform. So there are two of them. Before going to the two of them, like I said, we don't do training on cryptocurrency because it's not regulated. We don't do training on day trading because the risk is too high. And day trading doesn't give you passive income. A lot of us must have done training on currency and currency or day trading. I spent like a decade wasting my money on that. It's not for me, and it's not passive. It's not passive income. The day you don't trade, you don't make money. When you are doing day trading, you don't own anything. You can buy at the top. You can buy at the bottom. You can whatever you want to do, you can do. But I think it wasn't for me, and I don't encourage people to do day trading. It takes a lot of energy from you, and it takes a lot of emotions from you. And if you look at statistics all over UK, 70 to 80% of people who day trade lose money because it's not investing. And I put full disclosure here. I have, out of my curiosity, I've got cryptocurrency of 200 pounds in crypto, just spread them across. That's out of my curiosity, but it's not 0.00% of whatever I have in the market. And so it's just me playing around. Okay, just because it's not regulated. Okay, you can say it's for the future, but I would probably wait a little bit and say, okay, because the first thing you want to do is protect your capital. You don't want to lose your capital. Very important. Okay, now a few things I would say now, probably specific to United Kingdom, but there are similar accounts in Canada, in America. There are trading platforms in Nigeria that they are all over the place where you can invest into the stock market. Okay, and so the first account which we can open is, now for the person that asked the question about the kind of accounts, this is where we get them. For children that are under the age of 18 in the United Kingdom, that's what is called ISA. Okay, individual, it's more like an individual savings account, but you are allowed to buy, you can have the share and stock option, and these are companies that will give that to you. Okay, what do you do with that? You can save towards college, you can save towards the first house for a child. You are allowed to put in 9,000 into that account on a yearly basis, no more than that. That will average you being able to give as much as 500 or so or more into that account for your child for every tax year. Any profit you made from that is tax free. You can check this provider for their fees, and then you can allow time and compound interest to work on your behalf. Tax rule may change, but over the years, it's been free. Anything you make on it, government does not tax it. But by the time that child is 18, you can hand over the accounts to them. So to open the account, you can go to HL, is what I use. I've not used Fidelity before, I've not used Vanguard before, but I use HL, and I know they are the biggest in the country. Okay, and account number 2 that you can open is for young adults, and that's for, they call it LISA, lifetime ISA, from 18 to 39. If you're over 39, sorry, you can't open this again. Is if they, after 1 year, they can withdraw money from it towards their house. If they're not buying a house, their first house with it, they have to leave it until they are 60. But anytime you can decide, if you want to buy your first house, you can withdraw from this to buy the first house. Any money you put in it, government will put 25%. If you put £100 in it, government will add £25 to it. If you have young people amongst us, you want to open this, every money you put into it, government is kind of giving back your tax back to you. The maximum you can put into it in a year is 4,000 per tax year. Okay, and then you can start with £100. You can start today. You can go to HL, AJ Bell. Well, I've used HL, is what I use. Okay, and then you can buy a house that is not more than 450, and the rules, all these rules can change any time. Okay, and you are allowed to have other types of ISA along with this as part of your overall allowance of 20,000 in a per annum. Okay, I will upload this into YouTube at some point, and then you'll be able to again review this a little bit more. Okay, another account you can open is a junior SIP. So anything SIP is a retirement account, is self-invested pension plan, self-invested pension plan. Okay, or anybody can. There's junior SIP. 0 to 18 can open junior SIP. You can put into stock. You can put it into mutual funds. Okay, and then you can put 2,800 a year into junior SIP, and the government will also have 20% of whatever you put into it. So that making it up to 3,600 in your account if you max out your allowance here. And again, then if you open it for your children when they're 18, they take over the account. Any profits you make from this account is tax-free. You cannot withdraw until certain age or from that account because it's a retirement account. And the next one you can open in the UK is ISA. Every one of us can open ISA. Even if you are age 18 to 39, you can have your LISA and your ISA. Okay, but the only thing is that your allowance is still 20,000 in a year. So you can invest up to 20,000 per year in your ISA. I think I suggest everyone here to have an ISA. Okay, you can withdraw from your ISA anytime. Okay, it's not age. There's no age. You don't have to be a particular age before you can withdraw from your ISA. You can sell your stock and withdraw your money and use it for whatever you want to use it for. You must be over 18, so anybody 18 to 39 can still benefit from that. And then you can split your 20,000 across a lot of ISAs. You can maybe stock and share ISA, your cash ISA, if you want to do cash ISA with your bank at maybe 4 or 5%. Innovative ISA financing like real estate through ISA, and then your NISA within your 20,000 allowance per year. And anything you make from that is tax-free. Okay, you can start also with £100 from those companies that I've mentioned to us. Okay. Then another account is the retirement account for adult. There's a junior SIP, there's a senior SIP, which is for if you are already 18 and above, you can open a SIP. You can put into it up to 60,000 across all your pension accounts. If you earn 60,000 in a year, you can put 6,000 in a year into all your pensions. It means you pay zero tax. Again, you have zero money to spend, or unless you have other sources of income that maybe somebody is giving you or feeding you or housing you or something. So any money you put into this, government will give you 25%. If you're a higher taxpayer, you can claim back through your accountant or through your self-assessment. The remaining part you can get up to 45%. If you're a higher rate taxpayer, you can get up to 45% back from the government into your account. You can open this until you are 75. When you're above 75, you can't open a retirement account again. So you must be under 75 to be able to do this. Okay, you can start with £100 today, and as usual, talked about the 60,000 that you can have across for your pension, and then you can withdraw until you are 55. At 55, you can withdraw a lump sum. I think they are moving it to 57 now, but at 55, you can withdraw a lump sum of 25% from all your pension accounts, tax-free. Okay, so we have, how do you open? So I've talked about myself here. I've invested into 78 companies, 59 companies in the US, 19 companies in the UK, just because US stock markets do a lot better than UK stock market. I have about 20 mutual funds that I've invested some tens of thousands into. So there is a word here. It's the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is now. And then there is a question: wait, what if you are already in your 60s? Yes, in your 60s, you can still open ISA, you can open SIP, you can open ISA, you can still open SIP until you're 75 that you can't open SIP again, but you can have ISA at any time. ISA, regardless of the age, you can still open ISA and put into stock market. But if somebody is already above 60, there are types of things you buy into your accounts. Things that are less volatile. You want to do bonds, you want to do mutual fund, you want to do ETFs and stuff like that. And there are stocks you don't want to buy because of their volatility. They're very volatile. You want to avoid them, but you can still do that. Okay, so the best time to start is now. If you've not started it, okay, oh, I wish I've started this 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years ago, the best time for you to start is now. Okay, so I'll give you all the link to those apps. How many minutes do we have left? Okay, let me run through. We have hl.co.uk. We have freetrade.io. Okay, they have compared prices, and these are the two that I've chosen to use. So the next slide will give us a bit of the analysis, though this analysis was done by Freetrade, so that could be a bit of, they could bias a little bit about it. But the reason why I chose Freetrade is because every trade you take is free. Okay, and then but for HL, every transaction you do apart from mutual funds is £11.90. So what determines how much you pay is how many trades you execute in a particular. If you do 10 in this month, you pay £11.95 per trade. By next month, if you do 10 this month, by next month you are paying £8 something. If you do 20 this month, next month you pay about £5 something per trade. Okay, but most of us probably, if you don't do more than 10, you keep paying the £9.95. Whereas if you do 5 in a month, you've already paid almost £60 that month. Whereas for Freetrade, for the account, which I will show us on the next slide, you only need to pay £12 per month to be able to have all the accounts on Freetrade. And then the big bonus here is the fractional share. It means even though Apple is maybe 300 and something, or Microsoft is 300 and something, you can buy £20 worth. That's why I said you can start with £10, £20. And buy £20 worth of Apple, you can buy £20 worth of Microsoft. Okay. So next one, let me see if I have it there. The downside to Freetrade is that they don't have mutual funds yet. So HL have mutual funds. Mutual fund is free to buy and sell on HL. So what I do is, I advise you to do is open 2 accounts, buy mutual funds on HL, buy shares, your individual shares on Freetrade. Okay. Okay, then these are the subscription for Freetrade. So if you do the £6 per month, you can only do I believe you can only do ISA. Sorry, you can only do ISA. Please don't open a general investment account. Anything you make on this will attract tax. You pay tax on any money you make on individual account. So don't go for the basic one, but anything you make on this account, you get tax on it. Okay, but you can open only ISA here. But if you do the £12 a month, then you have ISA and SIP on it for Freetrade. This is Freetrade. For HL doesn't have a monthly subscription. It's free to use. You pay per transaction. You don't pay for mutual fund. They have mutual fund and individual stock. Freetrade does not have. So I want us to go ahead and download that app right now. Okay, this how to sign up is very easy to do so. Okay, to sign up, you can just go through the steps. I have the link here through which you can follow the instruction. Let me just put that link in the chat for us to be able to take advantage of this, and then I would we'll try and move on. So you have that there. So because my intention is that after this class, you're opening an account and you are starting. That is what gives me fulfillment. Okay. And then if you want to master the art of picking stock, okay, the next thing you need to do is, if you have Google account, go to Google Finance, MSN Money, or Yahoo Finance and create a watch list. Add in a list of stocks based on the following formula. Look around for what you like first. Read what the experts are saying about the stock. Study the finances of the stock. Have a conviction about it and buy a little bit of it. And then from there, you can start increasing this. Okay. And then you can start increasing that. And then the next thing is savings. So if you have money that you don't want, that you need in the next 1 year, you can use NS&I. NS&I is called premium bond. Okay, or you can go and compare ISA accounts online, because you can have up to 4% or 5% now and then on them. So if you have something money you need in 6 months time, 1 year's time, just don't want to leave it in your current account, put in NS&I, which is the national savings scheme. You are giving loan to the government. NS&I doesn't pay any interest. They distribute randomly the income from the fund. There are billions they are managing. Okay. The next thing is real estate, and the advantage of real estate is the fact that someone say real estate is the real investment because it's brick and mortar, you can touch it. But not everybody have the deposit of 30,000, 40,000, 25,000 to put into a real estate, which is if you are buying a house of 100,000 as a buy-to-let, you need 25%, which is 25,000 to be able to do that. Okay, not everybody will have that amount, so you can start with stock and share. But there's capital appreciation, there's rental cash flow, there's equity release that will help you. It's a physical asset. There's home shortage in the UK right now, and then it's a way for you to diversify your portfolio. Okay, and then an example I have here is an investment of 10,500 that we made in 2010, and today that investment has been able to give back to what is up to $500,000 in value. Okay, because you're able to put out equity to buy another one, and today the value of that 2010 is now £500,000. Okay, and we've done more deals after that. Okay, close to over £1 million now. So it's something that you can leverage on when it comes to stock market. Okay, we won't be able to go deep into that because of our time. Again, you can build and buy businesses. You can start a site or Zoom. I'm trying to respect our time. I didn't want to go a minute or two beyond the time which I promised. Okay, from your employment, you can have a site or Zoom. Like I said in the first, I said you are in business. Whatever you do right now, you are in business. But you are just, your current employer is your only and first client. It means you can duplicate your skill is to have more clients when you turn your passion into your business. Okay, someone is asking, is it possible to open the investment account with Freetrade if you have an existing stock and share ISA with HL? I thought you can only have, okay, yeah, good call there. You can only have, you can have more than one ISA in a tax year, but you can only put money into one ISA in a tax year. So I used to have an ISA. I still have an ISA with HL. Okay, but from April this year, I stopped putting money into it, and I opened another one with Freetrade. Okay, so you are allowed to have more than one ISA account, but you can't put money into two ISA accounts in a particular tax year. In UK, April 6 to April 5 is our tax year. You can only allowed to put money into one ISA account. Thank you very much for bringing that to my notice, for bringing that up. Okay, and then yeah, that's the advantages of building a business. That's how you can build a business, a good idea, develop your product, and be able to do a lot of selling. Okay, so in summary, so far today, we looked at all these things, the pillars, your mindsets, you having a mission to build wealth for generations, and then being able to adhere to those pillars, the phases you're going through, increase your capacity to earn, the power of compound interest or invest or time working on your behalf, you opening your account and doing it and funding it. I would say today, if you need help, get across to me. I will show you how to immediately open your account, be consistent in season out of season, and continuous education. And the last bit is the fact that if you want to go deeper into this, we have a master class, and I can't make you a pro in 2 hours. So what we've done is to have an extended time, okay, which I want, if you really want to do this big, if you're ready to do this, you want to start no matter the level at which you want to start, you still want me to take you by hand, you want to come together on a Saturday, spend like 5 hours together, analyze individual stocks together, shortlist like 5, 10, or 20 together, and then you'll be able to start adding to your portfolio immediately. If you want to start today with our masterclass, go for mutual funds and ETFs, add to that portfolio today. or you want to go deeper into how do I pick stock, how do I see a chart, analyze fundamentals or technical analysis on a chart, you want to come around to the master class. You won't regret coming around. I can assure you of that. There'll be practical sessions that will take us through the analysis of stocks. You formulate a strategy. I will show you the simple strategy I'm using. We'll analyze mutual funds individually together. And then above that, we'll form an investment community. Okay, you join a community where we talk about this on a daily basis. So that's you hearing from me almost every day on what I'm buying or what I'm selling. So I think the main benefit is that continuous education and you being in that atmosphere of investment where people of like-minded are, and you are able, which I think is a lot worth more than the price of $250 we put on it, which I think the price might go up as we go on in the training. Or you can leverage on the experience of other people. You can start building your investment portfolio. You can share your strategy with other people. If you're already in that journey, we want you to be part of this. Let's come together. Let's build a community. Let's empower ourselves together. So I would be expecting us to put in for that training. Let me show us the page. To register is very easy. Go to our website, ibuildwealthforgeneration.com, and I would love to see us in the master class. Let's start this journey together. Let's spend that Saturday together, and thereafter, let's be in this community. We're using Discord app to be in that community where we share common interests together. We talk about what's going on in the markets. Thank you very much for spending your evening with us. I appreciate your time, and I hope you've learned something today. And I want you to take on this journey. If you do need any help, please feel free to contact us. And if you want to register, go to ibwfg.com and follow the link from there. And I hope to see you August 19 during the masterclass. Thank you very much.